Win a pair of lower-level tickets to NXT Takeover Toronto and $500 cash. That's the grand prize for predicting the Clash of Champions winners this Sunday night on WrestleRumble.com. The hottest ticket in professional wrestling is NXT Takeover, and WrestleRumble.com is sending you there.
WrestleRumble.com, get on there. Clash of Champions. Clash of Champions, Sunday night on the WWE Network. Justin LaBar, Juicy Steen. The man is back.
I'm back, man. Yeah. Fresh off the honeymoon, man.
The Rev. I know people were complaining that we did not make it public that you were getting married, as if it was our business.
Hey, man, if they wanted to marry, we had about 400, 500 people there, so it was a big Rev-like celebration, man. We had some fun time. Just glad to be back in the studio.
I gotta say, you got the proper nod on. You're glowing. You're just glowing.
That's the son of a married man. You know what it's like?
No.
Okay.
All right. Let's go into the first match we're going to talk about. Cruiserweight Championship. The Brian Kendrick wins the Fatal 4-Way, which I think I'm all for. But my problem is, before we even get to this match on Sunday night, my problem with last Monday is, where was the champion? Why did the champion not be at ringside?
No
Why was
commentary,
the champion not even come out and
No
hold the title up
TV
and do a stare down?
He did a WWE.com interview after, but
well,
I mean, that's pretty.
Shake the system.
Pretty important.
Look, so I'm all for the Brian Kendrick though, because I think it's nice to put a veteran in there.
And it's a story.
It's a story.
It's an actual story, like we talked about before. Where is Vince going to give heel or face things to these guys? You already have a story right off the bat.
I agree, and that was a concern I mentioned last week. Is the cruiserweights all just baby faces because it's all high flying, or can we get some good emotion? The Brian Kendrick balances cruiserweights with heels tactics.
And he's been there before, so if Perkins has any sort of doubt that he's going to do fine in the ring, any nervousness, his first pay-per-view. I think you get a veteran in there.
The thing I like, number one, about debuting with the Cruiserweights is this. We go back to an old school mentality. You did not always see a champion on TV all the time. You didn't always see it. But the fact is, it makes the fans hunger for it. And from a psychology standpoint of it, it makes the wrestlers hunger for it because it might be a once-in-a-lifetime chance that your champion, the belt that you're seeking after, is going to be live on the air. The thing is, let's go. They have him off the air for a little bit. He's going to show up at the pay-per-view. It's a perfect way to milk it, and you've seen the hunger in each and every guy, not just in the baby faces. We're going back to Brian Kendrick himself.
The Brian. Now they put the match. They put that match on Monday in the third hour, like 10:20. I know some people would say that the cruiserweights are appealing more to like the older crowd, to the people that know who a lot of these guys are that are coming in from internationally. I'm on the opposite side. I think you put it on early. This is a very kid-friendly superhero kind of feel. Why would you put it on when they're in bed?
Especially with Monday Night Football coming back, you want to kind of compete with anything you've got.
You got the debate. I'll be honest with you. I'm watching Hillary and Donald. Raw's going to be on a little bit of delay.
There might be a battle royal with Hillary and Donald, but that's another.
I heard Hillary's going to wear a mask. So nonetheless, I'm going to tell you what. If the cruiserweights they keep putting it later and later, I'm going to be a little upset about that. All right, make your prediction. T.J. Perkins versus the Brian Kendrick. What do we got?
T.J. Perkins.
The Brian Kendrick.
Really?
Wow.
The Brian Kendrick. You look at this storyline right now. This was a man that he said, hey, I don't know if the Brian Kendrick of next year will even get another chance. So the Brian Kendrick of this year has to capitalize. It's the ultimate time where you see a guy that thought that he had done it all. He said, hey, farewell, our best endeavors. Now he's back. He's after blood. We've seen Brian Kendrick can do some things, but he stepped to another level. The Brian Kendrick is going after the Cruiserweight title.
I don't think he gets it done. I think Perkins has a lot of stuff riding on his shoulders. His first match, he didn't get a shot on Raw.
You have him win the tournament and then have him.
He get to showhimself himself on Raw, so he has to showcase himself.
Maybe they didn't showcase on Raw. Maybe because they know something. Maybe they are giving him the boot. Who knows?
But at the same time, we look at it like this. As fans, as marks, as smarts, whatever we want to call them, they get mad when you look at them and say, hey, it's too predictable. They get mad when you do things that's not predictable. You can't satisfy everybody. Yeah. The fact is, go with his best. Sometimes you got to make some shock things. In order to tick people off, sometimes that's what makes ratings go up. I say they need to give it in the Brian Kendrick's hands. Let him build that heat right now.
They do need the ratings.
Mark Smarks, Juice, Renell, and Justin. All right, let's go into the Universal Championship match. Kevin Owens defending up against Seth Rollins, which quite frankly, while I think we all know we're going to get a good match, a solid match here.
Definitely.
Ever since Owens won it, this entire run of programming on Raw has just been bizarre.
If not awful.
If not awful. I was going to just stick with bizarre.
I mean, SmackDown has been clearly the better show, not just because it's 2 hours, but it's just they've been compelling storylines, and they continue the storylines. They don't just have a talk segment every 5 minutes.
Right.
So,
Well, you have Kevin Owens, who's supposed to be a heel, but he gets cheered. Seth Rollins is supposed to be the babyface, but they still haven't fully transformed it.
Are you saying it's a match of the tweeners?
I hate that term.
That's why I used it.
Then you have Roman Reigns jumping in there. What's Roman Reigns? I don't see any way, though, Kevin Owens drops this title. And in fact, as WrestleRumble.com would ask you, you got to think a Triple H sighting comes back again.
Yeah.
You got to think.
To interfere and to mess up Rollins, do you think there's something in the future? Survivor Series?
Maybe.
I'm honestly looking for Kevin Owens. He's going to keep the title, just as you said, LeBar. The fact is this: I feel like Triple H will have some type of involvement in it. It's going to be something that's very blatant, to where it's going to make Seth Rollins snap. He's going to be like, enough is enough. He's going to challenge him at the next pay-per-view. If not, it'll build for a little bit more.
Yeah, we still got one more before Survivor Series.
We still have one more. So, but I'm still looking. Kevin Owens, he's going to keep the title. Triple H, it's inevitable that you can't just have Triple H come in, Raw, and then not do anything at a pay-per-view.
Sure.
Something's going to happen. Kevin Owens, he's going to take it.
Doesn't Raw get Hell in a Cell?
So that would get
There
Triple
you
H
go.
out of it.
There you go.
The master of Hell in a Cell, unless he comes busting through the ring or something. All right, we're going to get ready to go ahead and get to Josh Eisenberg's predictions. We have not heard his predictions yet. Make sure you can follow everybody on Twitter. We'll be live tweeting, WrestleRumble.com. We are getting out of the studio, heading to Josh, wherever he's at.
But my thing is this. Right now, Kevin Owens, he has it in his hands. Here's the fact that he has it in his hands. You look in his hands. I want to say this real quick. You look in his hands, he has nothing. But when you look at it again, all of a sudden, hope is in his hands,
What is-
LeVar.
that's hope.
Hope is in his
Hope's a
hands
pocket square.
to match his proper knot as well. Here's what's going. I don't care what Josh says. The Rev knows hope is in his hands. Whatever we toss to, hope is in the hands of Kevin Owens and the Rev.
Can you make Eisenberg disappear?
Oh, please.
Thanks, Justin. WWE Clash of Champions, the first only WWE Raw pay-per-view, will be very interesting, and there will be new champions. The WWE Tag Team Champions. I do think WWE gives Gallows and Anderson those titles around their waist, and I think it's about time. You need something, some sort of adversity for the New Day, and what better way than dropping the titles a year after claiming them at SummerSlam to a team that desperately needs those championship titles around their waist. Gallows and Anderson in a physical contest will beat the New Day. It could be dirty, but they will become the WWE Tag Team Champions. Stepping away from actual championship matches, you have Sami Zayn and Chris Jericho. The way Chris Jericho has been booked recently is fantastic. Maybe the funniest and brightest thing going for WWE Raw. I actually think Chris Jericho somehow finds a way to win and beat Sami Zayn. And I know everybody's going to say Sami needs the victory. Why does Jericho need the win? That's exactly why you need Chris Jericho to become the victor here at Clash of Champions. Moving forward, you're looking at the best of 7, Sheamus and Cesaro. Who do you pick to win this best of 7 match? I'm going to go with Cesaro. I think Cesaro is going to win, and Cesaro is going to be a guy that you need to make a main eventer. Sheamus has been there, he's done that, and now is the right time for WWE to pull a trigger on Cesaro. End this feud, let Cesaro go on to bigger and better things. Triple threat match for the Divas Women's Championship. I still can't get that right because they are beautiful women. But the Women's Championship, Bayley added, mistake. Should have been a fatal 4-way, should have been Dana Brooke added, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be Charlotte, the superior, genetically superior, picking up the victory and retaining the championship in a very highly contested match. I do think Sasha takes the pinfall loss though, and Bayley's still going to be preserved as much as they can. The Cruiserweight Championship, TJ Perkins versus my man, the Brian Kendrick. How exciting will it be for Brian Kendrick to win the Cruiserweight Championship? Well, not very exciting because TJ Perkins is the guy you need to build a division around. Exciting, youthful, unique. He's going to be the guy that carries this Cruiserweight division on WWE Raw. Looking into another championship match, Rusev and Roman Reigns. Watch out, IWC. Roman Reigns will become your United States champion, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Reigns will beat Rusev. Reigns will become the United States champion in a very physical match. If it had anything to do, if their match had anything to compare to what happened on Raw a couple of weeks ago when Reigns and Rusev were main eventing that show, a highly physical match, and it's about time that Roman Reigns puts a championship around his waist that's not the World Championship. And speaking of the World Championship, bank your money on Kevin Owens. I want to see Seth Rollins win. I think he deserves to be champion, but the Kevin Owens show cannot be gone and cannot stop only after a few weeks. Kevin Owens is going to be built, established, and become a guy that WWE Raw has as a heel for the next 5-6 months. He might not be champion for that long, but Kevin Owens right now is a guy that WWE needs, and they already know, win, loss, or draw, Seth Rollins is still going to be the man. While my biggest surprise is look for Triple H to make an appearance at Clash of the Champions with a few little instances about Seth Rollins talking to Stephanie McMahon. Yeah, he dropped the Shane name, but it might be the name of Triple H that they need to worry about more. Those are my predictions for the Clash of Champions Sunday on the WWE Network. Let me know what you think at Josh Eisenberg 4 and continue to watch CSR all weekend long. Make sure you forget me. Never, ever forget the Eyes of Eisenberg.